Joining us now here on In the Circle D1 Softball, powered by 643. She is now this week's reigning D1 Softball National Mid-Major Pitcher of the Week. Of course, she has been an all-conference performer pretty much her entire career at Dayton. She's arguably the greatest Dayton pitcher of all time. She's led him to an NCAA tournament, back-to-back conference regular season championships. I speak of Izzy Kemp joining us here on In the Circle. How you doing?
Good, how are you? Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. How does it feel to win a national award like Pitcher of the Week? I know it's not. It might be old hat to you to win awards.
I mean, it always feels good to get recognized, but I mean, I always want to put recognition back on my team. Like they're the ones supporting me. So,
Of course, you also won A10 Pitcher of the Week for I think it's the fourth time this season. Overall, you mentioned your teammates. Just talk about where your team is at right now, as you're just in the beginning stages of A10 softball, but every series is big. Where do you feel where your team is at right now?
we're heading in a really good direction. We have a really young team. We have 8 sophomores, 4 freshmen. So, like, getting them to understand the pace of the game and just like getting that buy-in from them. We got swept our first series. So, losing is hard, but it teaches a really good lesson. And I think everyone was really like understanding of that lesson. And it's been like all up from there. We've had some really good fight in our games against Fordham and George Mason and all that since then. So been really proud of them and like the we've been talking about not bouncing back but bouncing forward. So I've been really proud of the fight that we've shown since then.
Has your role, have you had to adapt to your role because of a young roster? Have you had to take more of a vocal leadership, or how has that made you change, if at all, anything, your role as far as a leader?
Um, I think I've gone back and forth on this because I feel like as a pitcher, like you're always thrust into a leadership role. Like have we have a leadership council on our team and it's a representative from each class. So I've been on that since my freshman year. So I feel like that's kind of been expected from me since I've gotten here. But how I've been leading has changed throughout the years. I think it was more like leading by example. I was younger, and then now more of like a vocal leadership and like sharing my experiences from like when we won A10s, like what's it going to take to get us back there, um, and just kind of like that, and more holding people accountable and having like that kind of authority. Um, so leadership roles changed over the years, but I think when I'm on the field, I've still been the same player, still vocal, still having a lot of excitement. So that hasn't changed.
Well, let's talk about that. Who are some of the other leaders on your team that people maybe that don't follow your team on a daily basis need to know about?
My best friend, Molly Grace, she is one of the most incredible softball players and leaders that I know. She's one of the kindest souls, but also like has really grown into an amazing leader, learning to like hold people accountable and be strong in her voice. And like her softball knowledge is just absolutely incredible. Whether like it's like what bunt defense we're in, where we need to be positioned for the pitch that I'm throwing, the batter that's up based on what they did the last time and what like everything going on. She's always in the right place. And she's my first baseman and she like is always willing to like put her body on the line to catch a ball for me. And she's always just like my person that will talk to me, calm me down, and like, or just like hype me up. She's like the last one I talked to before we break to go play softball. And yeah, so her for sure. And then Mickey Shively's been doing really well. Juliana Gonzalez has been doing really well from some of our younger players. Caitlin Goodwin's been awesome behind the plate. Deirdre Flaherty is a junior, so she's been doing really awesome these past couple of years catching for me. She is definitely a force behind the plate. I don't know how, but she catches every single foul tip for my strikeouts, So like when they give the catcher assist for the strikeout, she earns all of those. And she's been a lot more vocal this year as she's become an upperclassman as well. So I could shout out the entire team. Everyone's doing so well. But
Oh,
yeah,
I love that. I love that. Thank you. That was really good. How would you describe the identity of this 2026 Dayton team?
I think like I was talking about a little earlier, just like that fight and that grit and like the bouncing forward. Um, we like will take a punch and like we'll punch right back. And I think that's so important. Like never willing to give up. Like even if we have one out left on the board, like we're always still trying to like win the game, trying to put more runs on the board, and trying to like close that game. So I think that has been a lot of our identity as of recently.
Talk about your coaching staff with Kara Clark and the rest of the staff there, and describe them and how they've helped you succeed throughout your career.
Yeah, so Coach Clark is the only member on the staff that's still there from when I was being recruited. But I was only really recruited by Coach Clark. There wasn't a pitching coach when I was getting recruited. So I guess testament to Dayton as a school that they got me without a pitching coach, really. But Coach Clark's been great. She's like one of the most professional people I know. She's very good leader, very like direct to the point, which I really appreciate. She's not going to sugarcoat anything, and I don't sugarcoat anything. So I have very direct conversations with her about what my expectations are from myself and what her expectations are from me, and like what we need to do for the team. And then so really appreciate her leadership. And then Coach Ellie has been here the last 2 years, Ellie Buffenbarger. Um, she's just a joy to be around. And like has she came in my junior year, so like, and I've had three different pitching coaches before that. So she really was like, let's jump into what you're doing well. Let me learn like the verbiage that you use that helps you to pitch well. So I can say the right things when I see what I'm seeing. Like, let's translate because we're seeing the same thing, but let's translate it into the words that you will understand and will be good cues for you. And then she's like developed so much as a pitch caller and like just really trust her with that. And she's always like getting us hype in the dugout. Like she is pretty young, so she definitely remembers what it was like to play college softball. She played at Youngstown State, and she knows what it takes to win, and to be like a really top pitcher. She was an amazing pitcher in her day. And she's really helped me like develop my pitches and make them better, and get some new ones as well.
Describe your evolution as a pitcher. How are you a different pitcher today than you were, say, a couple years ago?
I think um, I'm more in control of my emotions, if that makes sense. I like in the past when I was younger, like umpire would be squeezing me and I'd like get a little huffy and like that never helps. Like the umpire's gonna see that and he's like, oh, like he doesn't like what I'm calling, like I'm not gonna give her anything more. So that definitely doesn't help. So I think I've been better at that. I mean, there's always calls that you're like, really, but so I think just using my emotion, I'm very like emotion forward, but now just like making it more positive and more like centered towards like congratulating my teammates, and just like celebrating them and then celebrating like big moments to get them hype, like big strikeout at the end of the inning or just big out at all. Like we're celebrating that huge because we're using that momentum when we go on the other side of the ball. I don't hit, so everything I can do to get the emotion high on my side of the ball is all I can do for my team, and then just cheering in the dugout as well.
That's good. I could take some of that advice myself, and I don't. And as a broadcaster, I get frustrated too with the umpire sometimes there on the stone. Uh, what got you into coming to Dayton?
Yeah, so when I was getting recruited, okay, so first of all, I think it's important to note my degree is going to be in mechanical engineering with a minor in human biomechanics and movement. So there's not a lot of schools that would either A, offer that to anyone and or student athletes, or like the program wasn't either the engineering program was going to have a problem or the program was going to have a problem with me doing engineering. So that like limited my number of schools that actually were going to work. And then like going off of the offers I had, it's 2 hours away from my house. My parents can get to most of my games. Um, and like again, like I said, Coach Clark was one of the most professional coaches that I talked to. She like had a PowerPoint the second time I talked to her, like just like in recruiting, like got ghosted by so like I'm a 16-year-old girl and you're gonna ghost me. Like it just like she was the most professional person that I talked to throughout my recruiting process, which I really appreciated. So engineering coach, and then just like the faith aspect of it. We're Catholic Marianist University, and I'm Catholic. So being able to continue my Catholic education, went to Catholic high school as well, was important to me. It wasn't like the most important thing, but now like looking back as an adult, like it probably should have been the most important thing to me. I've grown in my faith in like tremendous ways since I've been here. And just the community, like, okay, I'm gonna say community, and anyone who's from Dayton will just like laugh out loud. It is like the biggest buzzword at our school, but it actually is like the truest thing. Like the way the school is set up, like all of the emphasis in the education, and like from the president on down, like community is the biggest thing. I live in a house with five of my teammates and a golfer, and I've lived with them from my freshman year, like on up. Like I love the people that I'm around, and like a testament to Coach Clark's recruiting, but to also this school. Um, I like cannot say enough good things about this university and like the people that are around me. So what got me to Dayton was the engineering and Coach Clark, but what's kept me here is just definitely the community and the people around me and the whole faith aspect of it all.
It's a big household you're a part of there.
Yes, we love it though. We have a house like right on the main street of like Dayton, and we have a porch and we have a grill. We grilled out last night and like put a table outside. It was just like it was the best thing ever. We love our house so much.
Did you have favorite athletes growing up? What got you into softball?
I played a bunch of sports when I was little, volleyball, softball, basketball. My parents are both big basketball people. My dad played wheelchair basketball. My mom played basketball in high school. And then just being from Indiana, like basketball, like is the biggest thing ever. So that probably would have been the like direction that I should have gone if we were like just looking at my history. But it wasn't for me. I could not do the contact of the sport. I took it all very personally. Someone would foul me and be like, that's an attack on like my whole being. Like I have to go get them back. Um, so softball and having my little circle around me was much better. Um, I my ninth birthday present was pitching lessons with this guy that we met at a grad party. I played cornhole with him, Kevin Schmidt. I have to shout him out because he's still my pitching coach to this day. And he has been the most amazing thing for me. Just like breaking it down to the basics always. He like has this saying that pitchers are not like never stereotypically the most like intelligent people on the field. So like let's not let our brain like get in the way of anything that we're doing. Like we're just gonna pitch, we're gonna go, we're gonna have fun and try not to suck. And that's been like kind of the mantra that we've held between us since I was 9 years old. So he's been there for me since I was nine. And so Yeah,
Pretty good. Worked out very nicely.
definitely did.
You mentioned your degree. So, what's your goal once you're done with softball? What do you want to do?
Ideally work in something with med devices. So, either manufacturing or design of med devices. I've worked for two companies, internships. One was in manufacturing of like surgical devices, and then the other was in more of like a process role for Roche Diagnostics. We like were the North American hub in Indianapolis, so sending everything out to the rest of the labs across the country. So that was definitely interesting, learned a lot. But definitely want to work more with like the products that the company like makes. So looking more for design and manufacturing. I'm gonna be looking for a job this summer. So if anyone's hearing this and wants to give me a job, that'd be great.
Let's get it out there. Let's get the PR machine going. We could try to help you out. That's what we do here on the pod
Exactly.
here. You won, and as I mentioned, you won back-to-back regular season championships 2 years ago. Obviously, 2024, you got to a regional. You won the tournament. You played in Knoxville, got in a stacked regional with Tennessee and Miami of Ohio. What do you remember from that year and the winning the championship and playing in that Knoxville regional?
That was just the most amazing year. We had like such a stacked team. My Our outfield was just like insane. We had Emma Shooter in center field, and she was like A10 player of the year since she was born. Like she was so fast. And then we had Emily Daniel, who was also like just as fast in left field. And then we had um Kayleen Walter, who used to be our starting shortstop, but then worked into our right field position. So just like nothing touched the ball if the ball went in the air in the outfield, or nothing touched the ground if the ball went in the air in the outfield. Um, so that was just like incredible. And then had like the most lockdown defense in the infield. So just like having no problem spinning the ball through the zone because I knew if it got hit, like it was getting fielded and there was going to be an out made. So just having that trust in my defense was incredible, but my like the pitching staff was the most important thing to me that year. I had a little bit of an injury that took me out for a couple weeks and had me on a pitch count until the tournament. So I threw 7 innings for the first time in like a month in our semifinal game against Loyola. And I didn't pitch at all in the Loyola series in the regular season. I was doing wall sits in the in the bullpen, trying to get back from my injury. And they were not prepared for anyone but me. So our other pitchers came in with drop ball, change up, all this stuff. That's just like not me, and completely threw him off balance. And then I saw him in the tournament and threw him off balance again. So being able to work just like conflicting areas of the zone with our other pitchers, like everyone was so good. And Sarah Baylitz in our championship game, we'll go back and we'll watch that all the time. There's like somebody who's put it on YouTube, and it's just like every result of every at bat. And every strikeout that she had that game was just like we were so fired up for her. And then I was put in at the end of the game, made the last couple outs, and foul ball hit Tamale Grace. She kept like no doubt in my mind she's catching it. And then everybody's just running to me. And like I have my favorite picture ever on my desk here of me, Sarah Baylitz, and Haven Dwyer, our other like number two pitcher that year, just hugging because that was like the most important little team within the team to us. We were always supporting each other. Like just went to Sarah's wedding, going out to visit Sarah this summer with Haven. Like those are my best friends. And like just the support and the trust that I had in that team was huge, and like my favorite year that I've had since I've been here. And just not necessarily trying to recreate it now, but trying to do the things that got us there and having that trust in the defense and like support within the pitching staff. I know is gonna like take us there.
I can tell in your voice you want that one more crack at it. You want to win one more title, get back to that regional, don't you?
Yes, for sure.
Couple last quick things. You've won a lot of awards, individual awards. Do you set individual personal goals, or are you not? You're not interested in? Like I look at it, I'm thinking pitcher of the year would be a nice added resume there. Is that something? It's a goal, or you know that's not something you think about?
That's not something I think about. I'm very much like a day by day, week by week, batter by batter, like really focused on the next pitch type of person because otherwise it'll get too big and I that's not what I want. I'm really like I do have individual goals for this season and for my career. Pitcher of the year isn't necessarily one of them. It would definitely be nice to have to round out the career, but I'm just like, I want the A10 championship more. I want everything for the team more than I want the individual stuff.
Fair, but I'm going to campaign for you in the meantime. I'll do
Thank
for
you.
A10 pitch because I was like, wait, she hasn't won what? Wait, what? Like what are we talking about here? Because you've had some great players in the league. You and Abby Mallow, the great hitter at St. Louis, there who won the title last year. It's a great
Mhm.
league. Loyola, it's a tough league this year. My
Mhm.
last question is, I know you got to get going. What do you want your legacy to be when people bring you up? Say an alumni weekend, 5, 10 years from now.
Yeah. I think just like the passion, I guess, that I bring to the game. Um, I like within my team, I get made fun of a little bit for it because there's been a couple instances on strike two where I'm like, let's go, and thinking it's a strikeout. I like biggest one, we played Texas last year, and I did that on strike two because I don't know how to count apparently. So that's always gonna get brought up alumni weekend is the premature let's goes from me. But I think that just leads into like the passion I have for the game, the passion I have for my teammates and my team in this university. Um, because yeah, I'm all in on this team, all in on this university. So I think that's what I want to be remembered for. If I have my name in the record books for the strikeouts too, that would be cool as well.
I think that could be that. Hopefully, that does play out. Ladies, there we'll be monitoring that. Izzy Kemp, Dayton pitcher, joining us here on In the Circle at D1 Softball Power by 643. That is the D1 Softball National Pitcher of the Week, as well as A10 Pitcher of the Week. She's done that many a times, A10 Pitcher of the Week, and of course, all conference every year in her career. Hey, thanks so much for doing this. I know you're cramped with academics and classes and everything, a lot going on, so I appreciate you fitting this in. We wanted to have you on. Good luck the rest of the way this season, and thanks for everything you've done for softball, and thanks for telling your story to us here on In the Circle.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.